Today is September 1st, and here is our Buoy 10 update. So it sounded like from Buoy 10 itself all the way on up above Miller Sands between Rice and Sand Island, all the way up around the corner, Oregon side, Washington side. There's fish all over in the river, new fish coming in. The transient fish, or not transient, sorry, the transitional fish are up a little bit higher in the system above the bridge. It doesn't matter where you are, you're catching fish. There's a lot more coho starting to show up. That is awesome to see. It's expected with these larger tides, but we weren't sure how many coho were gonna actually end up showing up here this year. So that was really good to see some more coho appearing in the system. The guys that did well downriver from Buoy 10 again all the way on up past marker 1, marker 5, and checkerboard, and Hammond, red line, green line, Social Security Beach. That was mostly a coho show. For the guys up above the bridge, it was mostly a Chinook show. What worked well for me today? Well, we started out with all silver flashers, and we got bit on all those with my little bait spinners that I tie up. Didn't matter what color, what depth. You know, we caught fish in 15 feet of water, we caught fish in 50 feet of water. We caught coho 50 feet of water on the bottom, we caught coho 12 feet down in 12 feet of water. So it really, again, there was no rhyme or reason to it. Everywhere you went there were fish. You just need to trust your electronics and put your bait in front of those fish and they will bite. You might have to wait till the tide change or till the current adjusts a little bit, but they will bite for sure. So basically what we did is we started on the Washington side, fished the incoming over there from the rest area, caught fish there, followed them all the way up to the top of Blind Channel, caught a few around there. Yesterday we did really well at the ship anchorage, but we just wanted some different scenery here today for the same group that we had yesterday. So from there we jumped over to Tongue Point and fished that all the way up to the top of the sands. Caught fish up there, but here's one thing that I just mentioned, that you know, you got to trust your electronics. Well, Brandon called me up and said, hey, we're on a tear. We're catching the heck out of them. You need to get over here right now. And he was literally 300 yards in front of me. So we changed our depth contour up, got right in behind them, and there they were, just fish loaded up on the graph. And I noticed that Brandon was probably the only boat catching fish. And so I called him up again before we got our lines down, and I said, all right, what's the program? And he said, well, here's what we're doing. We're getting them all the way down on the bottom, and it's 55, 60 feet of water. So I looked at my graph, all the fish are stacked within 5, 10 feet of the bottom. They're all right there. So we got our gear all the way down on the bottom. He was running 360 flashers with the Hildebrand 3.5 spinners. I still had my triangle YBC flashers on those silver ones with the Hildebrand spinner and bait rig. And I dropped mine all the way down there, got the back rods tapping, figured out what number that was on the counter, then staggered them up just a few feet on each rod going all the way up to the bow. And it was immediately catching fish. So again, you got to trust your electronics. You got to make sure that your gear's in front of those fish, and eventually they will bite. Most of the fish that were caught from the guys I talked to were Chinook. I could not buy a Chinook today, of all things. So I ended up keeping 8 fish today. We let 3 coho go, 1 short Chinook. We kept 1 Chinook, and all the rest were nice coho that we kept. Explain that. I don't know. I was fishing right next to everybody else who's catching Chinook. I could not buy one at all today, but folks went home with a lot of really great quality meat. Frankly, I prefer coho meat over Chinook meat, and so it was cool. I don't know. It's just really nice seeing a bunch of fish in the system, regardless of where you're fishing, from way up to the top to way down to the bottom. You have 40 square miles to fish, and there are fish anywhere you want to go. So don't feel like if you're coming down here this weekend, you know, it's a holiday weekend. It could get pretty busy, but don't feel like you need to be right next to the crowds. Don't follow the sheep. If you don't like to fish around crowds and you want to go someplace by yourself, guess what? There's going to be fish there, and you're going to catch them. You know, the theory that I always have is that you can go to a spot that has 100 fish, but if there's 100 boats, you got a 1 in 1 chance. If you go to a spot that has 10 fish and there's only 2 boats, you got a 1 in 5 chance. So don't feel like you need to be right there amongst the crowd just because you see nets. Well, a lot of times today, 3 different times in particular, I went out all by myself, nobody else around, just wanted to get out of the pack, and we caught fish. So there you have it. Lots of fish down here. Coho are showing up because, heck, I caught a lot of them. But plenty of fish to go around. Don't feel like you need to fish in the crowds. Wherever you're most comfortable fishing, from the top of Miller Sands between Rice and Sand Island, all the way on down to Buoy 10, you'll catch fish. So good luck out there, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Later.